Hey y'all, what's going on? Unfortunate news of unaliving of children by their own father. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't going to cover this story because it's just incredibly sad, but the more things that came out, the more themes I saw of domestic violence, of mental illness, of ex-veterans not getting the mental assistance and rehabilitation that they need after coming out of the military, especially in this economy and how people are already having to monitor their own mental. And if you tag that on with someone who has already been known to exhibit mental issues, unfortunately, the result will be what we have seen this past Sunday.
You could see in his eyes, nothing behind the eyes, dead behind the eyes, no soul, NPC, non-player character. He didn't have.
What was just shown there was a daycare worker who knew Elkins, used to watch the children, expressing that there was basically no light within Elkins. No one was home. And if it was home, it was no one of light. It was actually that of darkness. The next video that was shown was him actually running from the crime scene. We would go on to learn that Elkins would shoot 10 people, being successful with all 7 of his children and another child being that of his nephew by marriage.
I don't know how to act because I've lost 8 parts of me because I loved each and every one of them like they were my own, and I took care of them like they were my own.
This is Troy Brown, the father of one of the children killed in the Shreveport mass shooting by Shamar Elkins, his brother-in-law. Elkins fatally shot 8 children, 7 of them his own, early on Sunday morning. Brown says that his 12-year-old daughter and wife were able to escape by jumping off a roof. He added that Elkins had a history of mental health issues, but that he was still in disbelief about what had happened.
I mean, he loved his kids. We would take them to the parks, out to eat, come outside, play with them. He loved his kids. He loved his wife. I just don't know what happened.
Brown also paid tribute to his 10-year-old son killed in the shooting.
I'm never going to get to throw the football with him again. I'm never going to get to hear him say, "Dad, can I get this bag of chips?" I'm never going to hear my nieces say, "Gunkle, can I get a nana? Gunkle, you going to work? Gunkle, are you okay?" I'm never going to hear that again.
It is said that him and his wife were in the middle of a separation and that they were going to be due in court the very next day, which would have been Monday, April the 20th of 2026. It is also said that he had gotten another woman pregnant. And I guess this could have been basically the last straw of his wife. 3 of the kids were not his wife's, and 5 they had together. What I will say is that for women, for men as well, because not just men can be a danger, women can be a danger as well. When you're getting ready to go through a separation and are going through a divorce, it's best that if you can, that you move far as away as possible from that person, if you can, because you never know when somebody will break. It has also been stated that Shaniqua is one of the survivors. She is definitely going to need some major therapy. I believe that they state that she is unconscious, although I did see a video of her being rolled out where it looks like she is conscious. Not too sure on that, but I don't know, at being a mother myself, how I would be able to go on knowing that my children, all of my children in which I gave birth to, and even the ones to which I'm pretty sure she had a relationship with, although they were not hers, are no longer walking this earth. I'm pretty sure that she is going to have survivor's remorse, and she is going to need some extreme mental rehabilitation.
There are 8 children that are deceased. I can't be strong for you. I think about the mother and what this family has lost. I think about this community and what this community has lost. And I don't have the words to give you, and I'm sorry. I don't know what people think in the crevices of their mind to want to harm another human being, let alone that of children who have their whole life ahead of them.
It's been uncovered that Elkins had served time in the National Guard, was working in the Specials Unit. He did complete combat training, so it is no surprise that he was as accurate as he was with the heinous crimes that he committed. And this goes on, or goes back to me saying that people who have been, although he was never deployed, but people who have been in the military need the best mental rehabilitation as possible. And I know this from experience and for a fact, because my grandmother had a fiance who had served in Vietnam, and he was an extreme alcoholic. He was never aggressive. He was actually a very loving man, but he would wake up in the middle of the night screaming because of the things that he remembered in his dreams from serving in Vietnam. So it's not a game, and it's very unfortunate because they don't get the mental rehabilitation that they need. Veterans in USA, a lot of them are actually homeless. The government does not show the care and concern that they need to show for veterans, especially these men and women going and putting their lives on the line. They see things that are unnatural. They go through trainings that are unnatural, and then they're expected to retire and be normal. It's unfair. Going back as early as March, there were signs that Elkins was in need of some assistance. Some signs that he was reaching out, possibly without even reaching out directly for help, that he was going through some mental challenges. The signs are always there before. And I won't say always, but I'll say 9 times out of 10. The signs are always there. It's just that we have to pay attention to these signs. Dads, if you could go back in time and have kids with another woman, this is coming at a time where we know that he is going through a divorce with his wife. We can see him reaching out basically to a higher power, possibly seeking some guidance, because what do we know? This is 10 days. April 9th is 10 days before he actually carried out what he was going to do. So he could have been praying and asking for some guidance, because he could have known that he was going to do this possibly 10 days before it happened. So I just send prayers out to all of the families that are affected, and may those baby souls fly high.
8 children are dead in what's now being called the nation's deadliest mass shooting in more than 2 years.
Our nation's latest mass shooting taking place in Shreveport, Louisiana. The mayor of that city describing the crime scene as horrific.
8 children discovered in a home, all of them shot and killed. Police say the youngest victim was just 18 months old. The oldest was 12. Officers responded to a domestic violence call when they made that shocking discovery. Police say the gunman, now identified as Shamar Elkins, stole a car from the scene and then led officers on a chase. He was eventually shot and killed by police officers. Investigators now say tonight Elkins was the father of 7 of those children. Investigators say the crime scene is large. It spans 3 homes, all near one another.
One of them is incredibly gruesome in nature, and it's going to take several hours to process. 7 children were located inside that were deceased. There was an additional deceased child that looked like he had tried to escape the residence out the back on the roof. Between the house on Harrison Street and these residences here, we know he had ties to both residences, whether that was romantic relationships or kin. We're working to put all that information together.
Tonight, investigators say in total 10 people were shot. The names of the victims have still not been released.